Today we're going to talk about the deload week and how to program an accessory day or weak point day for yourself. So off the bat, a deload week or deload time is a time in which you are not really training at a maximal intensity for the purpose of allowing your body a little bit more rest and recovery. There is merit to having a deload time, but there is no right answer into how that is supposed to look or what is going to be the most effective. For some people, they don't believe in deloads and they will just train hard as long as their body is capable of it. For other people, you can lower your weight, lower your sets, lower your reps, and still perform exercise, maybe break a sweat and be in and out in 30 minutes just to get your body moving. There has been times where I have deloaded for 4 days. There has been times I've deloaded for 7. And usually the product of my decision on how long I'm going to rest is based on how hard I trained in my previous block. If I feel that my body has gone through it, then I will probably take the whole week to relax and kind of enjoy life a little bit. But if I'm feeling good and I'm feeling strong and everything's kind of firing correctly, then I'll probably rest for a little bit less, and I may not get into my next training block right away, but I will get back into training. Now, today I'm going to talk about this weak point strength accessory day that I programmed for myself last week. I think it's important to engage with the fitness industry and kind of understand different ways of exercising, but ultimately how you exercise and how you train should be up to you and should be based on your own trial and error. My idea of a good deload is being able to hit my weak points or areas that I just really want to grow with similar intensity that I would during my training block, and then allowing my stronger points to kind of rest and recover, though I'll still try to train them a little bit. This is something that I've been figuring out for myself in 2 years, and probably in 2 years I will train differently because the way we exercise evolves over time as our bodies change. So the things that we do to keep our bodies healthy and strong are going to change as well. So for my weak point and accessory day, I typically try to sequence everything in the order that I want to train everything. So something that I've been really working on is my biceps and trying to get my biceps to grow a little bit. They're just a part of the body that I have a harder time training personally. So how I wanted to do biceps was that I wanted to start with the hardest variation of biceps that I could, and then once my biceps were a little tired, do an easier variation that would feel equally as hard as the first exercise because I was already a little bit more tired. I start with a unilateral movement because these are going to be a little bit harder on the nervous system because you're going from one side to the other of the body. So the nervous system's working a little bit harder to kind of focus in on what side of the body is doing work. And at the same time, the opposing side that's not working is having to stabilize you. So it's a little bit more involved. So I started with a one arm seated machine bicep curl, and this ended up being a really nice start. Biceps felt good, felt like they were on fire a little bit, which is what we want. And then from there, I moved into dumbbell curls with a hammer curl variation, so a neutral grip, and I went from a seated hammer curl into a standing curl, kind of as like a superset, in a way a drop set, just because when you're doing the curls seated and your elbows are in a more fixed position, the bicep curls feel a little bit harder than when you're standing and you have a little bit more momentum to play with. Really enjoy doing stuff like this, and this felt really good. And then from there, I just sequenced based on priority essentially. So what is the next part of my body that I want to grow? So since I'm a little bit more focused on my arms and my shoulders, I decided I would go with the tricep movement. Now for triceps, I really like doing unilateral work. So I like doing one arm at a time for triceps. I don't know why, I just feel it more. It feels better. And so that's what I do. So I started with one arm cable extensions with as much stability as I can muster. So I held the cable tower while my other arm, my working arm, was doing the work, so I was as stable as possible. These felt really good. Once I'm done with these, I will go on to calf raises because in terms of my legs, my calves are my weakest point, and they're a point that I really enjoy training and I really like seeing growth in because it just takes so much repetition to actually get the calves to grow. So that's going to be my third exercise. I like doing a machine seated leg press for these because I think they're stable and I'm able to get a pretty decent stretch. And so I did these unilaterally so I could really focus in on one side at a time and make sure that I was getting the stretch I was looking for and these felt really good. From there, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do a full chest exercise or if I wanted to do some sort of variation where I could get the chest involved, and I landed on body weight dips just because I knew my shoulders could handle it. So that felt like a good medium where I could get my chest a little bit involved, get the shoulders a little bit involved, and still kind of make it an arm movement. And these felt pretty good. I don't really get to do these often, so I try to do them when I can. And then after that, I was feeling pretty cooked, but still wanted to get my back involved somehow, do some sort of pulling movement. And I decided on some assisted pull-ups. The reason I do them assisted is because I really want to make sure I'm engaging the back musculature as much as possible. On body weight, it's going to be a little bit harder since I'm fighting more against gravity and less against an external resistance to really make sure that I'm pulling in the right technique that I want to engage my back. So that is why I opt for assisted. I don't think there's anything wrong with the assisted pull-up. I honestly prefer to do them that way so I know I'm doing it right. Having the assistance kind of gives me the ability to squeeze out as many reps as I can, where on body weight, it's a lot harder to do that because you're just kind of dead hanging in the air if you're not moving. All of the exercises that I did, I only did 2 sets. So if it was a unilateral movement, like the first exercise, my single arm bicep curls, I did 2 sets per side. And then if it was an otherwise just regular exercise, both sides of the body working, just doing 2 sets as well. I got this done in about 30 to 40 minutes and I still felt pretty tired, like I had given a significant effort, and that's really what you want to get out of a workout. I would recommend you give this a try because the best way that you're going to figure out how to program for yourself is to get in the gym and just kind of feel things out. Like I said, I chose all of my exercises based on the priority of the body parts that I wanted to train. So my weakest point, I believe right now, being my biceps, my shoulders being tired. I'm not going to train my shoulders more and just make them more tired. So I did basically an arm day with some calf raises in it, is if you want to call it that. That's the easiest way I can think of to explain how to select your exercises on a weak point or accessory day. Think of the points that you want to train the most and then just go from there and see how it feels. Make sure you're training hard, obviously, and you should find within that experimenting what's going to work for you. And that's going to give you more confidence, like I said, over time to go into any gym and be able to just jump on some free weights or jump on a machine and know that you've got a plan that's going to work for you. The gym only works when you work. So don't go to the gym without a plan, because if you don't have a plan and you don't do the work, you're not going to see the results you want. That's going to be it for this video though. If you found this to be helpful or informative, or you want to see more content like this, please let me know. I'm always trying to learn and understand better, so having feedback on whether this advice helps at all is pretty helpful for me as a member of the fitness industry. But that's been me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.